Hello, Carol Taylor-Kearney here at Powell Arts, and I'm standing with Ted Wallen, and we have his two beautiful paintings, and Ted's going to introduce us to them.
Hello. Right here we have Pink Wave, pretty simple name, and next to it we have Green Wave.
And you are going to tell us what they're made of?
These are both acrylic on canvas. I use a combination of airbrush, sponges, traditional brushes, paint marker, whatever I need to do to get the effect that I'm looking for.
And what's the effect you're going for?
With these specifically, I'm looking to get that neon glowing look to it.
Success.
Yeah, thank you.
Super duper.
It was a process learning, especially the order in which they go down and which edges to make soft, which edges to make hard. It's been an experience.
Yeah, you really are working in a unique way with contrast. That we can see here that there's the greens and then the neon color green on top of this very dark ground.
I'm trying to use that extreme contrast between blackest blacks all the way up to that white highlight at the very top of everything that makes it pop. And then some of the streaky stuff I found in the background, splatters and streaks, they actually add to the depth of it by allowing some of the glow to hit it and miss the other parts of it. So you actually get the sense that only some of it is being lit up.
I think that what's interesting to me about it is a lot of times when we're working with the picture plane, people are showing how the light hits an object. But in this case, the object the light is hitting is the canvas. Yeah. And so it's a really interesting thing because you're capturing the way light would hit a canvas or a background when you use neon. And I think that that's really fascinating. How did you get started doing neon? I'm sure you do other things, but these in particular are neon.
Well, it was other things that brought me here. Like anything else, I was working on a couple paintings that required things to glow, some lightning and some electrical current. And, ever since I was a little kid painting Star Wars lightsabers, ray guns, this is the kind of effect that I've been trying to achieve since then. So once I got commissioned to do a painting for a friend of mine who owns a barber shop.
Okay.
And there was some electricity coming out of a set of clippers. And to get that electricity to look right, that's really when I started to concentrate on learning how to achieve a glow. I didn't quite expect to go down the neon tube route with the waves and everything, but once I found a couple of tricks, I watched some videos of graffiti guys, graffiti artists that do this amazingly with spray cans. So once I watched those videos and saw their process using the spray paint on the wall, I tried to translate it and turn it into something that I could do on canvas using materials I had at home. So that's when I set off on my journey to learn how to do the neon look. The waves just seem to lend themselves really well to it because it was easy for the shape, almost the neon tubes being bent and applying that glow. Plus I could make it fit any shape I wanted to in order to get it onto the canvas. Mm-hmm. So that's how I got into doing the actual waves looking like this. Plus I'm by the shore, so I figured if they were going to sell, waves would sell, right?
Always. You need to either have the shore or a river.
Exactly.
With waterfalls. Right. So, but also looking at the compositions that you're doing, and you're approaching it in two different ways. On the one hand, yes, I see the waves in both of them. But in this one, all the waves kind of turn into each other, and you actually use the connection to come up into the waves to connect each of the waves so that it's one whole piece. Where in this one, it's a little more, you're going with diagonals and chopping off and then adding a natural drip. What made you approach these in these two different ways?
Well, this style of wave is a pretty traditional. I do tattoos for a living,
Mhm.
and this style of wave is a pretty traditional way of drawing waves in a Japanese tattoo style.
Yeah.
So because they're used to being drawn on the body, they're very easy to make curve and flow and bend. And there's different ways that I've learned to connect them through the years. So, just like I said, trying to fill the canvas up in different ways. The fluidity of water makes it easy to connect them. And, once you get the flow right, you can make them run in circles or back and forth any way you want to. But it's just, the versatility of using the waves, which again is one of the reasons why I chose the waves to really practice this technique.
Well, I also thought it was brilliant the way that you added I don't know if it's added, but there's also the drip factor that it occurs in this one. That on one hand, it relates to these straight edges, but on the other hand, it even gives us more description for waves.
Yeah, I was trying to add a little bit more depth, trying to do different ways. Like this one, I just had this line as a drop shadow to add that depth to it. So here, that streaky, drippy background achieves the same effect that the drop shadow does. But in a more visual way.
When somebody we talk a lot of times about how art is a conversation both between artists and material, and between artists and between the viewer. When somebody approaches your pieces, what do you kind of want them to observe and take away? What is that feeling, that connection that you want them to have?
I would like them to just get lost in them. I'd like them to think about whatever they need to solve that day, whatever they're thinking about, and they weren't sure what they were going to do. A happy thought, a trip to the beach when they were a kid. It's not. I just want people to interpret it the way that they want to.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get lost in. And that's really what I was going for.
Well,
The depth of them.
I love that we have the juxtaposition of the more, like with the drips in the background. The pink one has a lot of different textures on it. Well, a couple different textures on it. And the complexity of the waves on green wave, actually your eye is tracing two different things. So this one, you're looking at the depth of the pink one. And in the green one, you're kind of observing the circuitousness of all of the waves coming on top of each other, which I think is beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, none of that you said about getting lost in them, and you literally do, because I find myself at first tracing the lines, but then I get drawn into the spaces.
Yeah.
So it's this positive, negative that I'm feeling in both of them. I get drawn into the pink, and I'm ready to have a pink party. And then I get pulled into those spaces that are in between them.
The change in them is beautiful.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the negative space in this and the shapes are just as important as the waves themselves, for sure.
Yeah. So I want you to come and see Ted's beautiful work at Powell Arts through November
20th.
Thank you.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.